I was special.
The reason why you sell is because Blake Snell's value will literally never be higher, and there are not one team. There are an argument for 6 or 7 teams that will give you an actual haul for a premium left-handed starting pitcher. Are they going to give you a haul? Under team control.
Are we going to get a haul for these guys?
Yeah, you will.
If these other teams know that Robbie Ray and Blake Snell could opt out, why would they give up a top prospect?
Because it's a rental. It's a rental.
You're going to give up a top prospect for a rental? The Cubs didn't even give up a top prospect for Chris Bryant, and he was at the height of his powers.
When the Giants bought on Chris Bryant, there weren't this many buyers. There are the Orioles, the Yankees. You can make an argument the Red Sox should be buying pitching. There's an argument in the National League. Philly will be buying. New York Mets will be buying. I don't think the Cubs are going to buy. I don't think the Pirates are going to buy. I think Arizona's going to try to buy. San Diego is always trying to buy. Dodgers are going to try to buy. And there are 8 teams in baseball who will pay for a closer, a third baseman, and starting rotation guys.
Those 3 teams, the Mets, the Diamondbacks, and Padres, are 4 up on the Giants.
Yeah.
4 up. That's it. 4 games. And we're acting like it's a massive gap. Like, oh, my God, they're buying, so we should sell. No, I don't subscribe to that.
The Giants just swept the Rockies and gained no ground on the Padres.
So what? They're 4 back in the Padres. They could make ground up in the next 2 months. We got 2 months of baseball left. They can't make up 4 games in 2 months.
You really think this team's going to go on a 3-week run, 4-week run?
If you buy and you got this rotation, anything could happen.
You keep saying buy. What are you buying?
I told you what I was buying. What? Vlad Jr. I want to buy Vlad Jr. I want to buy Vogt. I want to buy another hitter. I want to buy another hitter. I don't care about Goldschmidt. I don't think St. Louis is trading Goldschmidt because St. Louis is thinking like the Giants. St. Louis is 1 game behind the Mets and the Padres. Here's the problem with the third wild card, Chasky. Everybody's in it. Everybody has hope.
You should sell because there's an argument. There are more teams bidding for the services. Right now is a seller's market. You are in a prime position to actually get something of significance. And you're not going to be in this situation, hopefully, this time next year or the year after that.
Who are teams selling?
What?
What prospects are we getting back for these guys?
Well, that's what the Farhan's job is. His job, that's why he was brought here, is to identify prospects. And every year at the deadline,
worked out for 6 years?
Every year at the deadline, they haven't been able to buy much because their farm isn't viewed the same way these other ones are.
How's that worked out for Farhan in 6 years?
Well, right now they have their first ever outfield all-star in 35 years.
I know. Wow. I know.
Well, so right now you have 2 young pitchers that I felt as good about in a decade? Like, we haven't had 2 young pitchers like this in a long time.
So you feel good about Harrison now?
I feel pretty good about I like the nucleus. Do I like the nucleus to make a run this year? No. I like the nucleus to make a run over the next 2 or 3 years after we get outside of this year.
They could blow an elbow next year and it's all back to ground zero. So I want to buy. We're not Pittsburgh, man. We're not Cincinnati. Are we a big boy market or what?
I mean,
are we a big boy market or what?
You've actually been closer to Cincinnati and Pittsburgh these last few years.
But that's the problem. And that's the problem. I need to separate myself from them. So I need to be out there and be aggressive and active. And I'm working under the mindset of this. This is my mindset. My mindset is, and I'm Farhan Zaidi right now. The way I'm thinking is Farhan Zaidi's thought process. When I hear Pavlovich from NBC Sports Bay Area, Alex Pavlovich, when he says, there's certain members of this front office who have to make the playoffs. And again, we go back to Farhan and Greg Johnson, to all these guys talking playoffs. That means jobs are on the line.
Yeah, but
that means jobs are on the line. And I don't think Farhan can survive by selling and not making the playoffs and finishing at 4th place in the NL West. His job's on the line. So if my job's on the line, you go one or two ways. You know your job's on the line. You either say, well, I'm going to get fired anyway, so I'm going to mail it in. Or like me, I'm going to say, you know what? They're trying to get rid of me. Let me show them the best I got. Let me show them why they brought me to San Francisco. Let me show them why I'm here in San Francisco. I got to go all in.
Did you watch Hard Knocks?
Farhan Zaidi may never get this opportunity ever again.
You act like he's running the team and he has no one that he talks to, that he has to approve deals. You watch Hard Knocks. Do you think that the GM is just making moves willy-nilly, or he has to present to ownership?
Mara sits there, but Mara didn't like the Saquon Barkley move, but he accepted it after a while, right? He was like, yeah, I'd like to draft now.
I don't think that Farhan's sitting in a room. This is just my opinion.
You think Greg Johnson has that much cachet as Mara with the New York Giants?
No, I think that Farhan's sitting in a room, and I don't think he's like, I got to save my job. I'm not going to tell Buster and whoever is a part of the brain trust, I'm just going to do all these moves. All those have to get run by ownership. That's my belief. And I could be, look, if he's allowed to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, I would be shocked.
So with that in mind, you don't think ownership wants to win? You think ownership wants to see him sell and watch this fan base say, you know what, we're not renewing our season tickets because you haven't won anything, and we saw 2 prospects after 3 years of hearing about all these prospects. Great, we got one pop. I'm so glad that Montel's popped, because for the last 3 years, we've talked about how many prospects? How many different prospects have we talked about the last 3 years?
Harrison, Bailey, Bart's gone.
Hunter Bishop.
Ramos, we talked about before.
Bishop, Carson Wisenhunt.
Yeah, Wisenhunt we barely talked about.
Who else did we talk about?
Bednar,
we talked about a million guys.
10 times in 3 years.
Luciano
a lot. Luciano a lot.
Between
absolutely.
you two guys, I've heard a lot about prospects.
Well, but you know what? Luciano hasn't hit.
Finally, we got one to pop. Finally, we got an all-star.
Yeah, I just don't think rich. I don't think rich people who like dividends are sitting here saying go all in even more. And they know what their business model is, and they know what's hitting and what's not. They're at the games every day. They see this and they see the big picture. And I don't think that they're sitting here saying.
You think they see the big picture, Greg Johnson and Farhan Zaidi? You think they haven't seen the big picture?
That's why everyone's kind of disappointed.
Their big picture from 2021 has been a big disappointment. It ain't a big picture.
Sure.
Picture's faded like a Kodak, like a Polaroid from a Kodak camera. The thing is terrible.
But trading whatever prospects that you have for a run now, I don't think that ownership is sitting here saying that's the move.
So what's the plan with Luciano then?
See, now Luciano's an interesting one. I think they have made a decision one way or the other. Either they're keeping him and he's going to switch positions or whatever, or he could be a guy that they're stapling with one of these other guys to go get them the shortstop of the future or the left fielder of the future or a first baseman of the future. That I do believe is something that's being considered.
I don't know, man.
I think Doval, Snell, Conforto's going to be a tiny deal. There are a lot of these deals. Wilmer Flores, who's hurt right now, had a plate injection into his knee. I don't know if a team wants him. I doubt it.
Maybe not.
Estrada, I heard, has been on the block for quite some time. If we don't see Luciano in September, I feel like he's gone in the offseason.
That would be disappointing.
Probably.
That would be, this whole thing is a disappointment. How do you turn a season of disappointments into a season of memories, good memories?
Well, I would say this, I'm not that disappointed, though.
I think you're not disappointed with the Giants this year?
No, because honestly, I didn't see Ramos coming out of left field. Ramos has been...
So that's been a saving grace for you? That's why you're not disappointed?
Lining. I call it a silver lining.
A silver lining because one player popped?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's how low the bar's been.
Oh, my God. So
they have a young, everyday player in the outfield who I know can play right field or center field for the next 5 years.
The bar's been set low. We need to raise the bar back up. The hell with setting the bar low. We need to raise it back up.
I didn't have one guy.
We got to raise it back up.
This time a year ago, I didn't have one guy I liked. And then I look at the rotation.
Oh, you liked the guy. Oh, you liked Casey Smith last year. That was
for a week. I mean, this time a year ago, I didn't know if Harrison was going to stick. I didn't know if Birdsong, I didn't even know who Birdsong was a year ago. So, as bleak as it's been, the silver lining is wow, we actually have a legit freaking young center fielder who's pretty fun and exciting. Wow, we got 2 guys at the top of the rotation.
I'm not ready to
win it every year.
I'm not ready to call Montes legit yet. I want to see a little more, although I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. I want to wait on that a little bit. I want to see this guy come through the league. Let me see him finish this season first before we start crowning him as a center fielder of the future. I just want to see the next 2 months. I think that's fair. We got some calls. We got about 10 minutes left. Let's go to Eric in Sacramento.